long as you have passion and as long as you're willing to forge forward, all things are on the table. Your development executive is really going to be your champion. A development executive's job is to champion the creative and his or her story. People come to me with IP, people come to me with original ideas, people come to me with adaptations of IP. And my job as an executive is, if it moves me, if I believe in what you're trying to do, to help you get your pitch or your script into shape so that we can take it out and sell it. Being at a studio is slightly different than being at, say, a network. At Warner Brothers Studio, I help you put it together, get it in shape, and take it out and sell it all around town. But if I was a development executive at, say, ABC, the network, I would only be receiving the story and getting it into shape for ABC. When people talk about, I want to get into development, it really means I want to work with other people. I want to help bring amazing stories to light. When you're coming into pitch, it'll primarily be me asking questions of you because you're selling me. It's your job to convince me that this idea, this story is so urgent and so unique that I need to buy this now. Like, I need to figure out a way to get involved with this property. In a general meeting, it's more of a sort of like, get to know who you are, what's your work style, what do you want to do, and where do we have alignments? You can ask me how to, what am I looking for? At which point I'll say, at Warner Brothers, we're looking for freaking everything. We sell everywhere. So what I'm looking for is an amazing story idea or something that's just going to make me be like, oh, I want that. Like, that's the next Game of Thrones, or that's the next Mayor of Easttown, or, that's the next Hacks. Even if you don't have something at that time, I would say you're also looking to make a connection with the executive that you're meeting, right? Because your samples are sent ahead of time. So they have an idea of your talents and thoughts about your skill set, but we always want to know who we're going to be working with. I think the amazing thing about the pandemic, in addition to no longer having to go into an office, is that there is more emphasis being placed on empathy, kindness, and being like a good person to work with. Like, you have to be so talented for people to overlook you not being fun to work with or a good person, because life is too short. Now, when we have these meetings, we discuss the work as well as what we anticipate it's going to be like working with this person. It matters. We can work on making the script better. I can't work with you if you're lazy. I can't work with you if you're in love with your words and unwilling from the beginning to change. And you would be surprised. Like, I am a writer. I understand, like, we're passionate about our words and the story that we want to tell, but there's going to be some give and take in the process. The hope is that you find an executive that really loves the idea that you brought in so that they'll fight for your concept. Once I'm like, okay, let's do this, let's get the deal made, like, you are my person, right? Because I'm expected, if I go to my bosses and say, I believe in this, the expectation from them is that I'm going to help you sell this. I'm not here to rack up projects and not get it moved. Once we have the green light, you are my person, you are my partner. And we are working together to get this whipped into shape where it's sellable and get it on the road. And so things that can be done on your side, obviously, is clear communication, responding to emails, following up. If there's outreach, making sure that we're like, it's not days before I hear back from you. Like, if I email you, email me back within 24 hours. Like, I understand everyone is busy and multitasking, most of us, but like, this is your opportunity as well. Honesty is super important, because if there's a note that you don't like, you have to say something. I really don't want to work with people that are so committed to the idea of just making a sale that they're going to yeah, but then turn around and be unhappy from the beginning. Let's establish honest communication. Like, I gave you this note because this is what I think, but how do you feel about it? And are you open to trying it? And if you're not, what is your reason for not? As long as you're thoughtful, I'm going to be like, okay, I respect that. So it stays. It's not scary, right? It's not this big, like, unknown. It's so much simpler than that. This is basically the window in the journey where we're giving birth to your idea, where we're getting it sold, we're getting it set up. That is what development is. Working hand in hand with an executive to get your script, your concept sold and on air. It is important that you like your executive. You guys don't have to be best friends, but you need to like respect them, and there should be mutual respect. And if there are concerns, address them immediately. Because again, this is the person that is going to be in the room when you're not, when they're doing like the first look at the pilot and deciding what works and what doesn't. If I remember that you're like, this moment is so important to me, I'm going to be sure to be in there and fight for it and say, look, I know you guys think it's extra, but that moment is turnkey for this reason, and we need to keep it in. A lot of times it is those little moments that matter and give things heart. And no one knows them better than the creators. Development can take a while, especially depending on where you sell it. And that came even as a surprise to me. There's like a 4 to 6 month process just to get the deal made. And then after the deal is made, you got to start with the notes. And then you're noting within an inch of your life, it feels like at times. You're like, I mean, are we ever just going to make this thing? And just to me, it feels like just when you're like, you know what, it's never going to happen, is when they're like, great, we love it. Okay, let's go to camera. Anyone that tells you that it's overnight or that it's a quick process, they lie. There will be challenges, but nothing is so insurmountable that if you really believe that this is for you, you cannot achieve this. I'm here because I want to pull back the curtain. We are just people. So much of the decisions made are based on opinion. So if you understand that, you understand that you just have to connect with the right people and you will get your green light. It is important to be resilient. Like, I don't think we have to be hard asses. We don't have to be like, it's whatever you should feel. You should show up. You should be present. But this industry, the idea that we get to make a living by entertaining others. We're not curing cancer. We're not teaching children. We're not like saving the world. We're literally entertaining. It's competitive because it's fun. Just knowing that means like, all right, then I'm in it. If you want it, get in it and make it happen. It is so doable. Speak highly of yourself. Really like cheerlead for yourself on your own and when you're with others. And you don't have to be like, oh, I'm so like, there's a way to do it, but like, know that you're the shit. There's room for everybody. You just have to find your lane.